What's going on, guys? Matt over here, Lethal Garage, and today I am driving through the desert. No, well, I am, but I wanted to give you an update on the electrical problem with my Camaro, or at least what we thought was an electrical problem. So, as you guys know, created a video in the upper corner, one of these corners, look for a little eye. We ran into some electrical problems. I was coming out and the car would be completely dead, like just dead as a doornail, nothing, no dings, no beeps, like just dead. So I jump started the car a couple times. Obviously I knew the battery was really dead and just driving around wasn't going to really charge it, so I actually went down to Pep Boys and they threw my battery up on a battery tester, supposedly, and it read the battery and everything basically came back okay. There's like, this battery has no dead cells, it all looks good. Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, so the battery's fine, it just needs more of a charge. Now, if you guys didn't know, our Camaros, they have a newer style battery, and they're not like newer in the sense like, oh god, they're brand new like invention of batteries, but they are a jail style battery instead of all the other ones. Actually, there's multiple different kinds. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but these gel batteries, the way they charge is they pulsate. They go from a low voltage to a high voltage to a low voltage, medium voltage, like it goes all over the place. So your alternator, you may see your battery reading all over the place, and that's because it's charging your battery. And typically, if you see a reading in the 14 plus barrier, that means your battery is basically charged. And that's, sorry, let me classify. If it holds that number, usually that's a good signifier that the battery has a full charge, it's good to go. Now, when I was coming out after the initial jumps and charges and testing the battery and everything, you know, the battery was jumped enough to be able to hold a charge to start the car. So I went to Pep Boys, obviously they tested the battery, everything was good. We put the battery back in the car, I drove home. I was like, sweet, car's working, it's driving, everything's good. Go back inside, battery completely dead next morning. I'm like, okay. So this was before I knew that a gel battery needed all sorts of long-term charging. Yeah. So we knew something potentially drained the battery, because why else would it drain? So we went through all the effort to remove everything from the car. Any, like the black view plug-in, the reverse LEDs, my front harness, like anything we've added to the car, we basically re-disconnected to try to figure it out. And once we did that, you know, we got the car jumped again, everything was good. I actually went down to ZL1 add-ons with John because he had a proper meter. My meter, for some reason, wasn't working. And we disconnected the battery and we put the meter in between the battery line and the actual battery. And we watched the car. We started the car, it started, shockingly, and watched it go into sleep mode and go through all the different things to see, okay, where is this power draw coming? When is it happening? Why is it happening? Etc., etc. So first and foremost, we did go through each fuse as well. Nothing really seemed to be drawing anything crazy, so we went to that method of literally just interceding the connection to the battery and finding out. We watched the car go from full amperage all the way down to low milliamps and just sat there. You know, we were opening car doors, we were turning certain things on and off to see it go up and down and all over the place, and it was all in vain. We spent a lot of time doing that, scratching our heads, wondering what the heck. Like, nothing was bad, nothing was drawing power, nothing was doing anything. And so we're like, okay, everything seems to be fine. And so went back home, let the car sit overnight, came out the next morning, dead. Like, what the hell? Car starts fine, I'm able to drive around, but I leave it overnight, no, hates me. So just super frustrating. So I'm like, you know what, screw this battery. I think there's something wrong with it. I don't care what the test said. I went down, I bought a brand new battery, went to Sears, got their best battery they offered, threw it in the car, hooked it all up. Car started perfect, everything's running great, everything's good. Park it in the garage, wake up the next morning, car starts perfectly fine. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it was the battery. Maybe there was like a false positive, or I don't even know how to explain it, but it worked. Everything worked for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. 5th day, I come out into the garage, go hop in the car to go drive somewhere. Not completely dead, but car will not turn over. And I'm like, right. Brand new battery. Didn't really drive on it much. I mean, admit that. I mean, I hooked it up, we drove around, we made sure it worked, everything was fine, and I was going out every day to make sure it started and everything was fine. But I ran into the fun issue of the car just not being driven enough to actually keep the charge in the battery. It's basically what we found out. So this is a really long story, and I apologize. Hope you guys don't want to murder me for how long I've been rambling on about this, but it's what we went through. And I say we because I worked with multiple people trying to solve this stupid problem. So I'm like, okay, the battery didn't get charged, I didn't drive it enough, that's kind of on me, my bad. So I bought a battery charger. I could have got a tender, but I just bought a straight up battery charger. I hooked up the battery, I let it charge for 48 hours, because they say for the gel batteries you want it to at least go for 24, and I was like, nope, I'm going all the way, making sure this stupid battery's 100% good to go. After I did that, I have had zero problems since. So I know it's been a little while since that initial video, but I charged the battery up. It's been great. Car starts, no problems, no issues. So at the end of the day, we think it was just an issue where I think with the first battery, something did drain the battery. We believe it was the Blackview power module that allows you to set like 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, 72 hours, like to record when the car's turned off. So they have a functionality where when you park the car, it will continue to record action or anything like that for a set period of time that you set. And the one thing we noticed in all of our testing early on was with the first battery was that device no longer had lights, nothing turned on. We tried hooking up to different power sources, everything, the fuses were fine. It just didn't want to turn on anymore. So we were like, maybe that thing shorted out, shorted the battery, killed it, etc., etc. So I go back and then I charged my old battery. So I still have my old battery, which I come to find out is perfectly fine. But the reason why it was also having issues is it just never got fully charged back up, which sucks because that new battery was expensive as heck. So at the end of the day, I hooked the original battery back up, got it 100% fully charged according to my charger, and all was fine with that battery. So at this point in time, I have two batteries, both holding proper charges as they should, and car works as it should. And the idea that it was an electrical gremlin or something like that was just a naive statement potentially of me just not properly charging the battery. And it really sucks, and it's a great learning experience. It's really frustrating that I had to go through all that to learn that, because when I went down to Pep Boys with the original battery and they tested it, they're like, all is fine, it has a proper voltage, everything's good. You would think, like, at that point, they hooked it up to like one of those battery tester thingamabob, I don't know what they call them, and they're just like, this battery's fine, you're good, don't worry about it. And I just like, okay. And that kind of is what spun me on a spiral, thinking that the electrical gremlin is something drawing power in the system, and lo and behold, it was actually nothing. Maybe outside of the first Blackview that kicked this all off, that drained the battery in the first place, which that's fine. I bought a new module, hooked it back up now, and it works perfectly fine. So I knew that the module that we had, something was wrong with it, or maybe that is what drained the battery. I don't know. I wasn't standing there watching it drain the battery, so I can't necessarily blame it, but I do know that module stopped working, and around that same time my battery drained completely dead. So 2 and 2 together, I don't know. But at the end of the day, electrical gremlin is technically solved for right now. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe we will see more issues. I don't know. But I do now have a battery charger. I know there's a lot of you out there that have reached out and talked to me about some of the electrical problems you've had with your cars. There's a lot of people telling me that they literally just have their cars hooked up to a battery tender all the time. That sucks. That really sucks. So if that's you, I apologize. It's not my fault, but I still apologize that you have to live through that. But my electrical gremlin seems to be technically solved, and I guess I do have a backup battery if I ever need it. I do have it stored properly. It's off the ground on wooden blocks, so I don't have to worry about battery discharging or evilness. I don't know if you guys know the proper way to store batteries and why it's bad to let them sit on the floor. I guess I could do a Google search or a YouTube search, but if any of you guys know why or the details in that, I'd love to know. Just because I know you guys are pretty knowledgeable out there and have run into your own things and done own things and know things way better than I do. I'd love to know. So either or. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. I know it's a long one. It was definitely a crappy situation, but things seem to be solved. So out in the middle of the desert, headed to Lake Havasu for work. And if you guys didn't know, working at Gen 5 DIY and ZL1 add-ons, which is actually back in California. I just crossed the Arizona border, so yes. But yeah, so lots of stuff coming. If you guys didn't know, I have a lot of new videos incoming. I have fuel pump install, a camshaft swap, a little bit different if you already have an aftermarket cam and you want to upgrade to a different cam. That's basically what this install guide, install guide will be. But yeah, so lots more interesting things, new power numbers, dynoing the car. The car will be at the most power it's ever been in its life. And she's running really good. So cross my fingers, hope that continues to go. Built car for a while with no major problems per se. And again, I didn't replace my cam or fuel because there was something wrong with them. I replaced them because I wanted more power. So yes, either or. Thanks for checking out this video. Likes, comments, shares are always appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you're interested in more content such as the stuff I just talked about. It is all coming. But until next time, guys, I do hope to see you on the road.